tutorial on the look I'm wearing right now. So yeah, I hope you enjoy. Okay, so I'm going to start off with my Maybelline Baby Skin Instant Pore Eraser. And I'm going to drop the lid. And I'm just going to put this kind of in the center of my face because I find that's where I need it most, especially on my chin where I'm having breakouts and that sort of thing. And kind of all over my forehead, around my nose. And if you have large pores that you are trying to have it fill, it's better to pat than rub. But I'm just using it more to smooth out my skin and to prime that area so that my makeup lasts a little bit longer. And now I'm going to mix two different foundations together and use that. So I'm going to mix them on this like half of a CD case thing. It's like the little plastic thing off of a CD case. And I'm going to use my Maybelline Fit Me. This is just the regular dewy and smooth for normal to dry skin, and it is in 110 porcelain. And then I'm going to mix it with this Rimmel Stay Matte foundation, and this is in light ivory. And I just find that this makes a very nice kind of satiny finish, not too dewy, not too matte. And I really like how that has been looking. So I'm just going to do that. And I find that this Stay Matte has really full coverage because it is such a thick consistency. And the Maybelline one is more of a light to medium coverage because it's so thin. So mixing them together just makes the perfect little concoction. And then I'm going to take this round top buffer brush and just mix them together on this thing here. And I need to add a little bit more of the Fit Me. This is all just kind of a trial and error thing to see how much you actually need and all that, because it's not like the back of your hand where you kind of know, you're used to that. So I'm just mixing it together and getting it on my brush. And now I'm remembering that I need to put on my green concealer first. So I'm going to do that real quick before I put on my foundation. So this is just a Maybelline Cover 6 Corrective Concealer. And it's just in green for corrects redness. I'm just going to put this anywhere that I have a bit of excess redness or blemishes or anything like that to help and conceal them. And I find it is a little bit better to put the green concealer on before foundation because it just helps to kind of mask it if you use a little bit too much and stuff like that. Okay, so now that I have green all over my face, I'm going to take my beauty blender real quick, and it is dampened, and I'm just going to tap in all of the green and try and get it on my eyebrow. Okay, and then once you have blended all of that in everywhere, you can put on the foundation. So I'm just going to kind of dot it everywhere for the moment, just to kind of place it, and then I will go back and blend the foundation in. Okay, now I'm just going to kind of buff it in, and then I will go over it with a beauty blender, especially because I think I used a bit too much. So So I might wipe a little bit off and go in with a beauty blender just to make sure that it has gotten, or just to make sure I don't look too cakey. I'm wiping it off of my brush now on just a tissue so that my brush is clean, and then I'm just going to kind of pat my face with this tissue because I used way too much. And now I'm going to blend with this brush again, and I'm blending kind of down my chin and neck a little bit. Okay, and now that it's mostly all blended in, I'm just going to go in with my beauty blender to get off any excess and to kind of help with any brush strokes that might have been left behind. Okay, and now that everything is all blended, it's time to go in with concealer. So I use 2 different concealers under my eyes. Like, they're the same concealer, just 2 different shades. And they're the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind, and I swear this isn't sponsored by Maybelline, even though I'm using so much of it. But yeah. So I use the one in light, and then I use the brightening one. So I just dab a little bit kind of in a triangular shape like that. And this one is quite yellow, so it helps conceal all of the dark circles and everything like that. And then I go in with my beauty blender and just blend that out. And I know I've been saying beauty blender this whole time, but it's the Real Techniques Complexion Perfection Sponge, I think is what it's called. But I think this works as good, if not better, than the beauty blender. And most people know what the beauty blender is, so I just call it that. But yeah, that's what I've been using, in case you didn't know. Now I'm going to go in with the brightening one and just kind of make the same shape, maybe go a little bit higher above my cheekbone there, since it is a brightening product, and just take a little bit on my nose and chin, forehead, just to kind of brighten a little bit. I don't think it does too much brightening. It would if I was a lot tanner or darker, I feel, but I'm pretty white, so it brightens just a little bit and helps conceal a little bit more on my skin tone anyway. Okay, and now before I go in with concealer on the rest of my face, I'm going to powder my under eye area just so it doesn't crease, and also on my eyelids since I put some foundation up there. So I'm just going to use my L'Oreal Paris True Match Mineral Powder, and I don't know the shade, it's probably like the lightest one, and that's why I use it under my eyes. I don't use it on the rest of my face because it is a little bit lighter than my skin tone. Or it usually is. I think I've gotten a little bit paler since it's winter now. First day of winter is when I'm filming this. I don't know when it'll be up though. Okay, so I'm going to take some more of the green concealer and conceal this active breakout I have and a little bit of these scarring parts, since they're still a little bit red. I'm just going to kind of blend it in a little bit with my finger, and then I'll go in with my beauty blender and continue to blend that out so it just doesn't look like I have a green spot on my face. Okay. And now I will go in with my Maybelline Fit Me concealer, and this is in Tin Light. And I'm just going to use this around my nose where I have some redness, and around those scarring or breakouts, and then I will just blend it out with my beauty blender. And now I'm just going to set my chin real quick with some powder, and this is the Coty Airspun translucent powder. And now I'm going to take a thicker concealer to try and cover up that little blemish there, because I am wanting a kind of more flawless, completely covered face. Now I'm still probably going to be able to see my breakouts a little bit, but I just want to get it as flawless as I can. So what I'm using now is the NYX Above and Beyond Full Coverage Concealer, and the powder is a little bit of a trick to further cover any blemishes. You can conceal powder, as long as you make sure you blend it. It shouldn't end up being too cakey or powdery, and if it is a little bit powdery, just use a setting spray or something to kind of soak up the powders. So I concealed it a little bit more. Now I'm just going to take a little bit more of this powder and powder the rest of my face. Now this is just something I personally like to do. I don't like to feel the makeup on my face, so I just like to powder it and set it and make sure it doesn't go anywhere throughout the day. So yeah, that's just what I'm going to do now. I decided to switch to a fluffy brush. This is an Up and Up powder brush, I believe is what it's called. I'm just going to do that. Okay, now that I finished powdering my face, I realized I forgot to cream contour, but that's okay, I'll just do powder contour. So yeah, I guess I will move into the powders I want to use. I'm going to start off with bronzer. This is just the NYC Smooth Skin Bronzing Powder. I'm just going to go in with the same big fluffy brush, kind of swirl it in there, and tap off excess, and just kind of go in this hollowed kind of area of my cheek and up to my temples. I'm trying not to use too much since I am so fair. I don't want to have my face a different color than my body, because I accidentally do that all the time. So I'm just kind of using a little bit at a time and going back and forth until it's where I want it to be. Okay, and now I'm going to take this more tapered brush, just a small kind of tapered brush, and I'm going to go into my e.l.f. contour palette and use the darkest shade right here. I have kind of made this kind of my own personal palette and added blushes in here, so it's not the original contour palette, but this is from the contour palette and it's just the darkest shade in there. I'm just going to kind of get it on the tip of my brush and tap off the excess and go in the hollows of my cheeks here. And then I just kind of blend it out using the same brush after all of the powders are off of it. And I blend it all the way up to my ear. And I do go slowly so I don't end up looking muddy or anything like that. And I'm just going to go back and forth until it's as chiseled as I want it to be. And then I'm I'm just going to take some on the tip of my brush and squeeze it like this and contour the sides of my nose. Like that. And now I do have lines, so I'm just going to blend it out with my finger. Just to make sure it doesn't look like I just put two dark brown lines on the side of my nose. And now you can contour your jawline or anything else. I think I'm going to just a little bit because it'll help make it look like I have less of a double chin there. I don't like doing too much though, because no matter how much contouring I'll do, I still have a double chin. That's something you can't get rid of with makeup, really. Okay, and now that I have finished that, I'm going to go in with blush. And I'm going to use this Milani blush in Tea Rose. 08 is the number there. And I have to open it first because it's new. And I'm just going to go in with the same big fluffy powder brush as before and just swirl it in and tap off the excess, and then kind of go a little bit lower on my cheeks than most people would. Most people would put them kind of on the apples and up. I kind of put it right above where I contoured, just because I think that looks a little bit better on my face shape. And after I have blended all of that out, I'm going to highlight. And I'm going to use my Becca Champagne Pop highlighter. And I'm going to use the same brush I contoured with. I'm just going to wipe it off and make sure that I don't have any brown powders on it anymore. And then I'm just going to take the small tip of it and just kind of lightly dab it in there, tap off some of the excess, and highlight the tops of my cheekbones and kind of up around my temple right there. And I'm just going to place that there for now, and then I'll go back in with my fluffy brush again and blend it out so it doesn't look like I just have a streak of highlight there. I am going a bit strong on the highlight because that's just what I want for today's look. I'm going to put some on the tip of my nose and then kind of up to the bridge, but focus a lot on the tip because that's just how I like that. And I'm going to put a tiny bit on the chin and on the center of the forehead. And then I'm going to take my finger and put some on the cupid's bow. Okay, and now I'm going to take my fluffy brush and just kind of go over that area just to make sure it isn't just a streak. And now that I have finished that, I'm going to go back into my contour shade on my fingertip and just put some on the bottom of my, on the underneath of my bottom lip here in the center. And just blend it out with my finger, because that does add a little bit of shadow there and make your bottom lip look a little bit plumper. Even though I don't need much help there, I still like to do that. And now I'm going to go into my eyebrows, and I'm just going to use an eyebrow pencil as well as some powder. And the eyebrow pencil I'm using is this Cella eyebrow pencil. It looks like that. I got it in a subscription box. I don't really remember which one. And the shade is Tantalizing Taupe. So I'm just going to use this to kind of outline my eyebrows, and I'm going to zoom you in so you can see a little bit better. Okay, so I'm just going to outline my eyebrows. I just lined the bottom little area, and now I'm just going to line the top. And then I'm just going to fill it in slightly. And just make sure I didn't go too far outside of my brow hair. And then I'm going to go in with my e.l.f. eyebrow kit, and this is in medium. And I'm just going to take a, sorry about that. I'm just going to take this e.l.f. small angled brush. That is what it looks like, just a small angled brush. And I'm just going to go into this lighter powder shade and use that to fill in my eyebrows. I'm just using kind of small strokes. I'm not holding it down against my skin for very long. I don't know why, this is just kind of how I like to do it. And I kind of start in the middle and go back, and then I go to the front little section here, and I fill that in. And I do kind of fill that in a little bit lighter. And then that is how my eyebrow looks right now compared to this one, which has nothing on it. Ooh, I poked myself in the eye. Okay, and now I'm just going to take a spoolie, if I can find my spoolie. And I'm just going to comb through just so there isn't too much product built up, which does lighten it a little bit so it doesn't look so fake and filled in. And then that is what that looks like. And now I'm just going to take my L'Oreal Brow Stylist Plumper, and this is in blonde, I believe, and I'm just going to, or it's in light to medium, that's the shade name. I'm just going to go over my eyebrows and make them lay kind of how I want them to lay, and just set them in place. And this does have little fibers in it, so it kind of helps build up your eyebrows a little bit more. And that is that. I do have some hairs here that don't want to cooperate, but I'm not going to worry about them too much. And now I'm going to go do the other one. Now that both of my eyebrows are done, I will start on my eyes. So I'm just going to try and zoom you in a little bit more. So now that we're all up and close and personal, I'm going to get my eye primer, and I'm just going to use this little Urban Decay primer potion. I'm just going to put a dot on both eyes and blend it in. And I think I'm going to do a somewhat kind of dramatic look, if I haven't already said that. Although you probably saw at the beginning of this video what it looks like. I don't know yet. So I'm going to use two different palettes, I think. I'm not quite sure yet. I might bring in different shades or colors or something from other palettes or something, but I'm going to use this Urban Decay Smoked palette. It's kind of an older, I think it was probably limited edition. Sorry about that, but it's going to be kind of easy colors and stuff. And then I'm going to use this Tarte Naturalized Volume 6, maybe? I don't know, I'm not good with Roman numerals. But yeah, those are the kind of palettes I'm going to kind of stick to mostly. So I'm going to just go into this smoked palette first and take this cream shade. It's just a nice kind of skin tone match to me. And I'm just going to take a nice fluffy brush and go into that shade and then just set my eyes. So I'm just setting the primer so that it doesn't crease or anything, and so that shadows will go on it a little bit smoother. And now that I have done that, I'm going to take just a flat shader brush like this one and go into this white shade in this palette. So just any white. So I'm just going to place that underneath my eyebrow on my brow bone, just to give it a slight highlight. I'm also going to put this in my inner corners. Okay, and now I think I'm going to go into this Tarte palette and take this matte kind of brownie taupe kind of shade there. I'm just going to use that in my crease just to help with blending in all the crease colors. So I'm just using a fluffy brush and placing that in my crease. Okay, now that I've done that, I'm just making sure that they're both about the same, just because I like things to be quite even. I think I'm going to stick to neutrals because I'm going to put on a bright red lip. So yeah, I'm going to stick to kind of neutral colors for my eyes. And I'm just going to use my same flat shader brush, and I am going to go into this light kind of cream shimmery shade right here and place that all over my eyelid. Now I'm just going to go into a kind of bronzy brown shade with that same flat eyeshadow brush and place it kind of this outer half of my eye. Now I'm going to just go back in with my fluffy brush and blend it all together. And now I'm going to go into a nice kind of dark brown kind of shade on a kind of smaller tapered fluffy brush and place it, ooh, yeah, I didn't tap that off good enough, but I'm just going to place it in the outer corner like so. Go back in with my other fluffy brush and blend that out. Okay, and I have a little bit of fallout, so I'm just going to go in with my powder brush and dust that away. I'm just going to make sure that's nice and blended. And now I'm going to go into a slightly darker matte brown on a smaller crease brush. This one is an e.l.f. Professional Blending Brush. And I'm just going to place that a little bit more precisely, kind of, in that outer corner. Not go quite as far up into the crease, like that, and then just blend it out again. And now I'm just going to dust away the fallout again. And now I'm going to go in underneath my eyes with a skin tone color first. Just because that's what I like to do, kind of keep it a bit neutral at first and then build it up so I don't go too overboard under my eyes. Okay, now I'm going to take that original crease shade, that nice kind of taupey brown, and just start in the outer corner and go in maybe halfway with that shade. And now I'm going to go into that dark brown, the slightly lighter one, and just focus that on this outer kind of third of the eye. And up mixed in with the eyeshadow up here. And then I'm going to do the same with the other eye. Brushing away fallout again. And I'm going to take a kind of dense crease brush with nothing on it and just blend out that bottom lash line, just to make sure nothing is too harsh. And then I'm going to go back and blend the upper lid area. And now I'm going to add in a little bit of black, I believe. So I'm just going to take a crease brush again and just lightly go into a matte black shade. And just focus it very low on this outer corner here. And kind of dragging it a little bit along the lash line. And then I will blend it out. Okay, and now I'm going to go in with my highlighter I used on my face and put that on the inner part of my eyelid. So my Becca Champagne Pop highlighter, and I'm just going in with my finger and putting it on the inner part of my eyelid. And kind of lightly blend it out halfway through, kind of to the back. And then I'm going to take my blending brush and just blend it together with the other shadows. And now it looks like that. Okay, now that I have my eyeliner done on both eyes, I will do some pencil liner. This is the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On liner. So I'm just going to use this in my tight line and probably my waterline. Okay, and yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do it in my waterline. Okay, and now that that is done, my eyes are pretty dramatic now. I am going to go in with my mascara. And I'm going to start off with my L'Oreal Voluminous Original Mascara. And this is in Blackest Black. And I'm just going to use this and coat my lashes. Okay. And I just did 2 coats of that on the top right now. And I'm going to take my Maybelline Great Lash, I'm sorry if that was loud. And this is in Blackest Black. And I'm going to use this to coat my bottom lashes. And now that that is all done, I am going to find what lipstick I want to wear now. Okay, I'm going to take this little sample I have of an Urban Decay lipstick, and this is in Matte Bad Blood. So I'm just going to use this as my lipstick. First I'm going to wipe off all of the chapstick I have on my lips. Okay, now I'm just going to take a lip brush and kind of go along the outside of my lips just to smooth out the lines. Okay, so I'm just taking my e.l.f. retractable lip brush, and I'm just going to smooth out the lines. Okay, I'm just going to take some concealer now because I'm totally screwing up on this. And go around. Okay, and that is the finished look. So I hope you enjoyed. If you did, then hit the like button and subscribe for more videos. Bye!